Carole Manship, and I would like to give you some tips on how to be more successful in your career. I'd like to pass on what I have learned from my own experiences and observations and from contributions given to me from a great network built up over years. If you're not getting ahead, sometimes it's just beyond your control. You might have a manager who's not giving you good feedback. Perhaps he didn't fight your corner. Maybe she has no idea how to manage. And it's quite possible that your manager might not have such a good manager. There may be no policies or very flawed policies in place, so that promotion is a very hit and miss affair. And there simply may be nowhere for you to go. What can you do about it? Here's a few ideas for starters. Learn how to manage upwards. Improve your negotiating skills. Try to enrich your job by taking on greater responsibility. But actually, it's a good possibility that you might be best off moving on. My research identified 4 main areas in which individuals have control over their own success. One of these ways is marketing yourself. You don't have to go around wearing a superhero outfit. But think about it. Who knows what you are capable of doing? Does your boss? Does anyone else? How can you become better known? Do you volunteer for assignments? Do you join project groups that go across departments? Do you contribute to a company magazine, newsletter, or blog? And very importantly, have you made your ambitions clear? The last thing you want is to be overlooked because people don't even know you are interested in a promotion. There are a number of things that you can do once you focus on what it is you want. There are questions on this slide that you could be thinking about and could or should be a call to action for you. 2 key ones are whether you have actually listened to any feedback so that you know how the company would like you to develop, and making sure you get to know the right people. It's quite true that who you know is a vital part of things. I'd like to tell you a bit about my journey so that you know where some of these ideas come from. I worked in publishing, going up the editorial ladder from editorial assistant to a full editor. The promotions game is much easier to play when there is a clear path in front of you. Now, my marriage brought me to England, and I found myself living in Birmingham. Getting a well-paid job in publishing was out of the question, as there is no publishing industry in Birmingham, and certainly wasn't then. But I felt quite pleased to be offered a job in Price Waterhouse, though very frustrated that it was half the pay I had earned in the States. However, I did manage to enrich my job by volunteering in a number of areas and taking on far more responsibility than my job description stated. Besides working in the training department, I was a founding member of the company's social club. I organized conferences, got involved in graduate recruitment, took on national responsibilities in the firm's training programs, and was able to put my publishing skills to use by producing the company's staff directory. Now, I was a member of the support staff, not a fee earner, and a key lesson for me in later life was not to work in an organization in which I was not part of the core team. I never did get a promotion there, but year on year my salary went up around 20%, when other support staff averaged between 3 and 8%. And by the time I left, I had trebled my salary. Working in graduate recruitment at Price Waterhouse led me to my next job, working in Aston University's business school. I worked with students to prepare them for their sandwich year by helping them to put together their CVs, improving their interview skills, and actually helping them to understand the different types of work that was on offer. But I also worked with employers to find challenging opportunities for these bright students, and I take great pride that in the 3 years I did the role, I had a 100% success rate. Someone was watching me, because when a vacancy came up in the management development program, I was offered the position. Ironically, It wasn't because I had the qualifications for the job, which I did, but because the relationships I was developing with employers had been noticed. At Aston, I was able to double my salary in the 6 years I was there. Shortly after leaving Aston, I decided it was time to start my own business, which has now been going for 15 years. The main part of my business is helping companies to achieve investors and people. And a large part of this work was helping organizations to develop and to implement staff appraisal programs. I did this with small and medium-sized companies, charities, and even a FTSE 100 company. Again, I worked closely with organizations. This time it was to develop competency frameworks. Now, these exercises identify the traits and characteristics that staff, managers, directors, and owners have found in the most successful employees. And I'll tell you now, there are generally 24 traits that come up consistently, regardless of the nature of the organization. And usually, within any one organization, you'd probably find 8 to 12 particularly desirable traits. And I'm talking about things such as being a team player, having good negotiating skills, being a good strategic thinker, being creative, being a good problem solver, and having very good interpersonal skills. You might not be surprised to hear how important a smile can be. I really hope this video has been useful to you. I would be delighted if you would leave your comments under it, and I'd be especially if you can let me know what you would like to hear about in any upcoming videos.